If you want your voice heard, now is the time. Jagex has put out a beta so you can test the FSOA and the animate dead changes and help shape these into something that both fits the design goals that Jagex has for the content as well as being something that the players feel is acceptable. Before we get into that though, there's a couple of announcements I want to talk about. Starting out with Jagex putting out a development update last week where you can see the direction of some of the upcoming updates. You can see around the corner we have a wood cutting training method as well as a new hatchet, and we're finishing up the fort for Rune 3 content, which will eventually launch into the necromancy line of content, of which we're actually getting the reveal later this month on the 30th. Then there's a couple of other things like increasing the max cash limit, double XP live, game jam releases, the beach, etc. But if you want to know more, there's a news post on the official website. Next up, being in line with making your voice heard, Jagex has put out a spring survey. Jagex is looking at your feedback on the game, and following the link on the news post, you can partake in this survey starting today, May 2nd, for a limited time only. So be sure to get your responses in time. They're also giving away £20 shopping vouchers to 20 participants who complete the survey in full. They can be spent at a selection of participating online retailers. The winners will be randomly selected from all participants and announced in an upcoming edition of This Week in RuneScape. Next, to celebrate Free Comic Book Day on May 6th, you can pick up Jagex's first official RuneScape comic totally free from participating shops. There's a link to the article that'll give you more details on the news post itself. Taking a look at the upcoming live streams, there's actually one today, 17 game time, so depending on when you're watching this video, maybe yet to come, happening now, or already happened. And they're going to be looking at Untold Tales of the God Wars, which is that new comic book that's coming out, as well as doing a skill and chill with Mod Doom and Spear. The following day, on Wednesday, May 3rd, 17 game time, Mod Jack is back again, talking about the design of RuneScape, so stay tuned for those. Now, with that said, let's talk about the new beta that I kicked the video off with moments ago. Last month, they opened up conversations for some upcoming changes to the Fractured Staff of Armadale and the Animate Dead spell. Common feedback was that it was hard to know how impactful these changes would be without trying them out, which is why they're coming out with the beta. This actually launches Thursday, May 4th, and will be available until May 16th. So here's how to access it. If you're using the Jagex launcher, you want to head to the taskbar and close any running instances of the Jagex launcher. Click the link once the beta begins May 4th. Links will be added to this webpage when it goes live, so come back later. And the link will load the launcher, then start loading the beta, logging you in automatically. If you're using a non-Jagex launcher, click the link and log in as normal. Again, the link will go live on May 4th. On first login, your live save is imported into the beta, and you can re-import your save into the beta once per hour. A couple of frequently asked questions. I want to test Animate Dead and Fractured Staff of Armadale. Do I need to have them already? Answer is yes. Accessing the beta will transfer over a copy of your save, so you'll need to own these items already. You will not be provided with FSOA or have AD unlocked upon login to this beta. And how do you give feedback? You will be able to respond to in-game polls in the beta, and Jagex will be coordinating an official thread on Reddit. So that's everything you need to know. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you'd like to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. With that out of the way, let's look at the patch notes and see what's been updated with today's update. Starting off, we got unwelcome guests. Fixed further typos in the unwelcome guest update. Demon flash mobs are no longer affected by the guardhouse insta-kill buff. Linza, Acrosay, and the Wildy Worm are no longer affected by the guardhouse insta-kill buff. Looking at general changes, fixed an issue where checkboxes for the legendary Lumberjack pet were resetting after closing the pet's interface. Players can now progress in the While Gothic Sleeps quests when they have destroyed a specific item. A typo with the Sylph Thrill Rod has been fixed. Remove the possibility of a player getting stuck in the tutorial after lighting a fire by the door in Reginald's house. The Hunter Skill Guide's entry for Carrion, Draconic, and God Jet Echoes now say preferred instead of required bait. If you dismiss a familiar after killing Bork, the familiar will no longer return. And lastly, an accidental change made the lodestone icons on the action bar blurry. This has been corrected. And that is it for your patch notes. Links to everything discussed in this video will be down in the description below. Head on over there and check them out if you wish to do so. If you missed last week's video, it'll be on screen right now talking about the previous game update. If not, I'll see you next time when we get more news regarding RuneScape or the next game updates. With that, I'm out. Aloha.